Anyways, 2017 brokers. I will have $800,000 at Interactive Brokers. The wires have already gone out. I will have rebalanced it. I was going to do a million, but I actually wanted to split this a little bit. $200,000 is going to my high net worth broker. And I don't say their name because, frankly, I'm afraid of giving them too many clients. You need at least $30,000 also, so it's not right for everybody. But in the past, I've referred people to brokers, and those small brokers have been overwhelmed by my students. Some of you guys are very high maintenance, and you've overwhelmed the brokers, and that's my bad. So I've learned. Interactive Brokers is, a $20 billion, $15, $20 billion company. They can handle anybody. But my high net worth broker, you need to have 30,000 plus, and you need to email admin@timothysykes.com for an intro. I think actually their normal minimum is 50,000, but if you get an intro from me, then their minimum is 30,000. And the reason why I have $200,000 with them is they have better borrows on some of these stocks if I want to short them. Primarily I'm a short seller, but actually in 2016 I was primarily a long base trader because it was just easier. Short selling was a very tough year. I know a lot of big short sellers, they might have came out with profits, but very stressful, having health issues. I don't want that. So I'll look to short, I'll look to go long. I'll take it one trade at a time. But by having 800,000 at Interactive Brokers and 200,000 with my high net worth broker, you'll see how my $1 million account does over the course of the year. And I have no idea how it'll do. I take it one trade at a time. I have no goals. Only newbies set goals like, oh, it's my goal to turn a million into $1.5 million this year. I don't know what is going to come up. I have no idea what the trades are going to be. So learn not to set goals and to take it one trade at a time. I know that's counterintuitive, but this is the beauty of learning from a veteran trader and not a newbie. If you learn from some of these newbies who've only been trading a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, just during this bull market, they will teach you very dangerous stuff. And you might not realize it until it's too late. You'll realize the value of learning from an actual veteran multimillionaire who shows all his trades. Also, watch out for people who don't share all their trades publicly. A lot of people are claiming, oh, I made this much, I made this much. Show me every trade. Don't just show me one screenshot that you could have freaking photoshopped, okay? Show me every single trade. I want to see how much you risked. I want to see what percent gain, what percent of your trades are losses. I don't trust anybody who does not show every single trade publicly. And I'm sorry, there's a lot of people who don't believe in transparency. It's nothing personal, but I just don't believe in non-transparency. I think the future of this industry is showing every single trade publicly. No different than baseball, which is, America's favorite sport. And guess what? Batters show their trades, or batters show their bats, at bats, their stats. Okay, can you imagine going to a baseball game, looking up at the scoreboard, looking for like a batter's batting average and seeing a blank screen and saying, this batter has chosen not to show his batting average? Like, what kind of game would that be? There would be laughs. There would be boos. That player would be booed out of the stadium. And it's no different with traders who don't show every single trade. They should be booed out of the industry. And I think that transparency is the future. I could be wrong. I know that there's a lot of shady, questionable traders who post one or two screenshots here. Look how good I am. But they don't show their losses. And a lot of them are short sellers because when these stocks go supernova, they say, what a junk company. No one should ever buy this. And then the stock surges 50, 100, 200%, and they're very quiet. And then they don't talk about it. Guess what? They're probably losing. So get in the habit of showing everything. I'm very proud of my $1 million account. I will be showing live trading videos with my $1 million account. Let me be very clear. I have 3 accounts. I'm also starting a $5,000 account with E-Trade. Every single trade on E-Trade will be alerted in real time, and I'll have commentary in my chat room just like I always do so that you can learn. You can see exactly what position size I'm taking and what percentage of my portfolio and my goals and my risk levels and all that good stuff. But with the $1 million account, nothing will be alerted. You will only be able to see the live video from start to finish after the trade is over. So nothing will interfere with my concentration. It's fine, when I'm trading with a few $1,000s to try and multitask. But when I'm trading with big money, like $1 million, I want to focus, and subscribers will be able to see every single thing on my screen. And I won't necessarily be sharing those trades with everybody because this is a lot of money and I only want truly dedicated people learning. Let me get to some other brokers too. Because even though I say, oh, E-Trade and Interactive Brokers and my high net worth broker, everyone's like, okay, that's great, but what about these brokers? Decent but not great brokers, I would say, are Fidelity, Schwab, Scottrade, Questrade. They're not great in terms of short selling. They're not great in terms of fees or execution. They're decent. But I understand that different brokers have different rules, different minimums, different countries. You know, I think Questrade is Canadian. So Interactive Brokers, I wish their minimum was lower, but their minimum is like $10,000. And if you're under the age of 26, there's a loophole where you can put in $3,000. But I know many of you can't afford $10,000. And I know E-Trade doesn't accept a lot of countries. So there's no real perfect broker. And in my high net worth broker, I mean, the minimum is 30 to 50,000, and you have to make a lot of trades just to keep it open. So there's no perfect broker. So decent if you're okay with just going long and, you know, paying a little more for commissions and not getting great executions. These aren't terrible, but they're not great. Brokers I don't recommend though, Robinhood. Terrible, terrible, terrible executions. No after hours, no pre-market trading, no short selling. Very, very dangerous when you enter the battlefield and you're less prepared than other, warriors. The stock market is a battlefield, make no mistake. And if everybody else on the battlefield has a gun or a machine gun and you come on with a knife like Robinhood, yes, Robinhood is free. There's no commissions. They're going to try and make money other ways. But you are at a severe disadvantage. And I've already heard some horror stories of what those disadvantages cause. You get what you pay for. And in my experience, as much as people complain about commissions, a lot of that is just in your head. A lot of it is like, oh, I can't make enough money because the commissions are too high. Maybe because you're choosing bad trades where you're not potentially making 20, 30, 50, 100% gains. Those are the good trades that you should be focusing on. The problem is many people don't know the good trades, so they focus on random trades, random patterns, and yes, if you do that, then guess what? You're going to get random results and commissions are going to matter. In my experience, and granted, I've started with a few $1,000s now several times, and I've grown it to hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars within a few years several times. Not once did I ever care about the commissions that E-Trade or Interactive Brokers has charged me. If I focus on the right trades, the commissions are negligible. You just have to be choosier with your trades. I know that you think that you have to trade every single day. You don't. If there's not a great supernova, if there's not a huge volatile stock, if there's not a stock that you can make 20, 30, 50% on, don't trade. The commissions can actually be a good thing in helping you prevent over trading. No different than the PDT rule, which many people hate. I hated at first. When I first got started teaching, I was like, come on, let everybody trade. Now I see how many newbies overtrade. The PDT rule helps you, and we'll get into that in a second. But I also don't recommend any prop firm, hedge fund, or offshore broker like SureTrader. In the past, I've used SureTrader. In the past, I've looked at considering prop firms and hedge fund brokers. I think that regulation is going to come down hard on all of them in the next year or two, and you don't want to be there when the regulations come down. They're all very questionable. They have very, very spotty services and executions and fees. I just don't trust them. I'm sorry. I like to stick with my multi-billion-dollar brokers.